All right. I'll say it first. I love you.
Loni Anderson, the radiant heart of WKRP in Cincinnati, has passed away at 79, leaving behind a legacy of resilience, glamour, and grit. The beloved actress died in Los Angeles after a prolonged illness, her passing confirmed by longtime publicist Cheryl J. Kagan. Just days shy of her 80th birthday, she left this world surrounded by family. Loni shot to fame as Jennifer Marlowe, the high-heeled yet sharp-witted receptionist who stole scenes and hearts on the hit sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati. Her performance earned her 2 Emmy nominations and 3 Golden Globe nods. She also lit up the big screen alongside Burt Reynolds in Stroker Ace, later becoming half of one of Hollywood's most talked-about couples. But behind the glamour was a woman who endured brutal scrutiny. Her turbulent marriage to Reynolds became tabloid fodder, yet she faced it with unflinching honesty in her memoir, My Life in High Heels. A story, not of scandal, but survival. Even in her final years, battling illness, she returned to TV with Ladies of the 80s, A Diva's Christmas, proving her fire never faded. She leaves behind not just her family, but a generation who saw strength behind the smile. Loni taught us that even in stilettos, a woman could stand tall and walk through storms with grace. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, beloved for his role as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, has tragically passed away at the age of 54. His death was confirmed by a source close to the family. Warner drowned while swimming during a vacation in Costa Rica. The sudden loss has left Hollywood and generations of fans in mourning. Warner rose to stardom in the 1980s as the sharp, lovable son of Cliff Huxtable. His performance helped shape one of television's most iconic families, a role that earned him the admiration of millions and secured his place in American pop culture. Beyond The Cosby Show, he built a decades-long career with roles in Malcolm and Eddie, Read, Between the Lines, The Resident, and 911. Though his path was marked by the complexities of his breakout show's legacy, Warner never stepped away from truth. In his later years, he became a powerful advocate for mental health, launching Not All Hood, a podcast that became a safe space for honest, vulnerable dialogue in the Black community. Respected by generations of Black actors who followed him, Warner remained a steady, familiar force on television for over 4 decades. He wasn't just part of history, he mentored it. And now, that legacy echoes far beyond the screen.
Entrance foyer. I said, oh, I'll just put it in the closet. Hell no, I'm going to put it right up here where everybody can see it and lust after it.
Eileen Fulton, the unforgettable bad girl Lisa Miller of As the World Turns, has passed away at the age of 91. Her family confirmed that she died Monday in Asheville, North Carolina, after a period of declining health. With her, a golden era of daytime television draws to a close. Joining As the World Turns in 1960, Fulton played Lisa, a character who would go through 8 husbands, countless lovers, and millions of devoted and furious fans. Originally cast for just 3 months, she remained the show's fiercest flame for nearly 5 decades. In 1998, she was inducted into the Soap Opera Hall of Fame and honored with a Daytime Emmy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2004. But Fulton's journey wasn't easy. She fought typecasting, contract disputes, and even public backlash, once being slapped by a woman who hated her character. Refusing to fade into matronly roles, she famously demanded her contract forbid grandmother parts. Still, she endured, always on her terms. She wrote, performed cabaret, launched a clothing line, and turned Lisa into a feminist anti-hero long before the term became trendy. For generations of women who refused to be boxed in, Eileen was proof that boldness could become legend. Lisa Miller may have had many names, but in the hearts of millions, she only needed one: Eileen. Michael Madsen, the gravel-voiced outlaw of Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill, has died at 67, closing the curtain on one of Hollywood's most rugged, iconic presences. His death was confirmed as cardiac arrest caused by heart disease, chronic alcoholism, and thromboembolic complications. He was found unresponsive in his Malibu home on July 3rd. No autopsy was performed. The cause was signed off by his cardiologist as natural. With a career spanning over 200 roles, Madsen embodied the cinematic rebel. As Mr. Blonde in Reservoir Dogs, Bud in Kill Bill, or Sonny Black in Donnie Brasco, he was the man who brought danger to life. Whether playing a killer, a sheriff, or a broken anti-hero, he gave every role a haunted soul. His gritty charisma made him a fixture of Tarantino's universe and American film history. But behind the tough guy persona was a poet. In his final years, he turned inward, preparing to publish Tears for My Father, a deeply personal collection of outlaw poems. According to his team, Michael was really looking forward to this next chapter. That chapter, tragically, never came. But the story he wrote on screen, raw, bleeding, unforgettable, will never fade. Madsen didn't just act the part, he was the part. Harris Yulin, the commanding character actor of Scarface, Frasier, and Ozark, has passed away at the age of 87. His family confirmed that he died of cardiac arrest on June 10th in New York City. A memorial service will be held at a later date. Yulin had just begun preparations for a starring role in American Classic, a new MGM Plus series, a testament to his enduring vitality and passion for the craft. Over a 5-decade career spanning stage and screen, Yulin built a reputation as one of Hollywood's most respected performers. From his searing role in Scarface to his Emmy-nominated turn on Frasier and his haunting presence in Ozark, he brought weight and nuance to every scene. On Broadway, he earned multiple Drama Desk nominations and helped found the Los Angeles Classic Theater, mentoring generations of actors. But behind the gravitas was grace. He endured personal loss, including the passing of his daughter, yet never lost his devotion to the art. As director Michael Hoffman shared, he went out swinging. Yulin was still acting, still discovering, still hungry to create. He leaves behind not just a body of work, but a heartbeat that pulsed through every project he touched. Harris Yulin didn't just perform. He elevated, he illuminated, and he will be deeply missed. Joe Don Baker, the rugged star of GoldenEye, Cape Fear, and Cool Hand Luke, has passed away at the age of 89. His death was confirmed by his family in an obituary published on May 13th. He died on May 7th, surrounded by a close circle of friends. Though the cause was not disclosed, the tribute remembered him as a beacon of kindness and generosity. Over nearly 5 decades, Baker carved out a unique place in Hollywood. He played both villains and heroes, from a Bond adversary in The Living Daylights to CIA ally Jack Wade in GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies. His gravelly presence anchored classics like The Natural and Cape Fear, and earned him a BAFTA nomination for Edge of Darkness in 1986. Behind the tough exterior was a quiet, thoughtful soul. A lover of books, cats, and the natural world, Baker was known for his humility and deep compassion. Though he stepped away from acting after 2012's Mud, his memory remained vivid to those who knew him. He leaves behind no children, but a lifetime of roles etched into American cinema. Joe Don Baker may have exited the spotlight, but for those he moved, on screen and off, his legacy will never fade. Rest easy, Joe Don. You were never loud, but you were unforgettable.
I said, look, move in with me. So they brought all our stuff, 2 big furry cats.
That Bruce Willis turned 70. Amid tragic illness, a quiet hero, fading from the spotlight. When we hear the name Bruce Willis, most of us are instantly taken back to the unforgettable thrill of Die Hard, the haunting revelations of The Sixth Sense, or the raw intensity of Pulp Fiction. His voice, his stare, that unmistakable mix of strength and vulnerability. Bruce wasn't just an action star, he was our action star. A symbol of courage who, somehow, made toughness feel human. But tragically, as Bruce celebrates his 70th birthday, the very man who brought us those timeless moments may no longer remember them himself. Diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia, a cruel and fast-moving neurological disease, Bruce is now facing a chapter few of us ever imagined for him. Before we continue, we invite you to pause and reflect. What's your most cherished memory of Bruce Willis? Was it that rooftop leap in Die Hard? That whispered line, "I see dead people"? Or the way he quietly commanded every scene, making us believe that even the toughest souls carry deep emotion? Share your stories with us, because while Bruce may no longer be able to speak his legacy, we still can. Bruce Willis was born on March 19, 1955, in Idar Oberstein, West Germany. The son of a German mother and American father, his family moved to New Jersey when he was a young child. There, in a modest working-class home, Bruce began building the resilience that would later define both his career and his characters. He first found his love for performance in high school theater, using acting as a way to overcome a childhood stutter. After a few years of drifting through odd jobs and stage roles, he landed the role that changed everything: David Addison in the hit television series Moonlighting. With charm and wit, Bruce lit up the small screen and quickly became a household name. But it was in 1988 that he became a global icon. Die Hard introduced the world to John McClane, the tough New York cop with a soft heart, a sharp tongue, and a will that refused to break. That role, equal parts grit and vulnerability, redefined the modern action hero and launched Bruce into superstardom. Over the decades, Bruce built a body of work that few could rival. From high-octane thrillers to quiet dramas, he showed a range that earned both box office success and critical praise. Films like Armageddon, 12 Monkeys, Unbreakable, and The Sixth Sense reminded audiences that beneath the action hero exterior was an actor of real depth. He wasn't just a man of explosions and catchphrases. He was, above all, a storyteller. But today, as we look back on those achievements, there's a tenderness to the memories. Because now, Bruce may not recall the roles that made him legendary. And yet, his impact remains, not just in film history, but in the hearts of those who grew up with his stories. In the next part, we will explore the emotional reality of Bruce's illness and how his family has become his greatest support as he faces the most difficult role of his life, that of a man slowly fading from the spotlight, but never from our love. A family united, love as a lifeline. In Bruce Willis's hardest role for decades, Bruce Willis embodied resilience on screen, but off-screen, he is now facing the greatest challenge of all: frontotemporal dementia, a disease that steals language, memory, and eventually, movement. Unlike Alzheimer's, which often begins with memory loss, this condition first takes away the ability to communicate and understand. For an actor whose voice once carried worlds, this loss is particularly devastating. In early 2022, Bruce's family announced his initial diagnosis of aphasia, a disorder that affects speech. The news came as a shock to millions. A year later, the family revealed that Bruce's condition had progressed. He had been re-diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia, a rare and aggressive brain disorder for which there is no cure. And now, in the summer of 2025, heartbreaking updates have emerged. While the family has not officially confirmed every detail, several reports suggest that Bruce can no longer speak, read, or walk. These words are hard to say, harder still to hear. But behind those headlines is a quieter, deeper truth: a family's unwavering love. On Bruce's official Instagram, 2 recent posts speak volumes without saying much at all. One shows Bruce holding his daughter's hand, captioned, "He doesn't need to say a word for her to feel safe and loved." Another captures his wife, Emma Hemming Willis, gently cupping his face alongside the words, "Love doesn't need words." And perhaps in times like these, it truly doesn't. His family has shown the world what it means to walk through suffering together. Emma, his wife since 2009, has become his voice, updating fans, advocating for dementia awareness, and protecting his dignity. Demi Moore, his former wife and lifelong friend, remains deeply involved. Together with their daughters Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah, they have formed a blended family defined not by the past, but by present love. Earlier this year, on Bruce's 70th birthday, his daughter Tallulah, affectionately known as Tula, shared a heartfelt reflection. She wrote not as the daughter of a movie star, but simply as a child remembering her father. She recalled how she once felt embarrassed by her full name, Tula Bell Bruce Willis. Now, she wears it like a badge of honor. She wrote, "He's a person, a son, a kid from Jersey who hit the mother jackpot of life. Their bond is deeply human, tender, and rooted in more than memory." In a recent Sunday visit, Tula sat beside her father, held his hand, and shared a quiet embrace. Her fiancé, Justin, joined the moment, smiling softly beside Bruce. In a world where everything moves fast, that stillness felt sacred. Even as Bruce's world grows smaller, the love around him only expands. His daughters from both marriages, Rumor, Scout, Tallulah, Mabel, and Evelyn, continue to stand by him, a chorus of support and grace. Bruce may no longer be able to say, their names aloud, but in their eyes, their touch, and their presence, he surely feels each one. In the final part, we will reflect on the legacy Bruce leaves behind, not just as a film legend, but as a father, a husband, and a man who taught us that sometimes the strongest words are those left unspoken. As Bruce Willis enters the twilight of his journey, the roles he once played may no longer remain in his memory. But his legacy, as an actor, a father, a friend, continues to shine through the people who love him. And more than that, through the quiet, enduring presence of family. Bruce is now living in the comfort and privacy of his home in Brentwood Park, Los Angeles, a serene neighborhood nestled in the hills of California. The home is spacious, warm, and filled with laughter and light. Not the noise of the Hollywood spotlight, but the soft rhythm of daily life. This is where he is being cared for, surrounded by those who know his heart best. His wife, Emma Hemming Willis, remains his primary caregiver and strongest advocate. His daughters, young and grown, visit often, reminding him and the world that love doesn't fade with memory. According to recent reports from July 2025, Bruce's condition has worsened. He can no longer speak, he no longer reads, and walking has become difficult, if not impossible. It is a cruel twist for a man who once ran barefoot across broken glass in Die Hard, who once delivered iconic lines with perfect timing. But as his abilities fall silent, his family's love speaks louder than ever. Emma has shared how she treasures every moment with Bruce, no matter how small. She once said, "I don't know if he knows who I am, but I know who he is." And that's enough. Her honesty has touched millions. Her strength has inspired others walking the same path. Rumor Willis, Bruce's eldest daughter, recently became a mother herself. Her daughter, Luetta, named partly in honor of Bruce's favorite artists, is now his first grandchild. She's a bright light in the midst of sorrow. Rumor calls her father the original Sparkle and says that Lou carries a little piece of him in her smile. And then there is the bond that defies labels, the one between Demi Moore and Emma Hemming. Once wives, now sisters in purpose. Demi recently said, "Our children are sisters, and yet there's no name for what our family connection is. We are mothers united." In a world that often divides, their unity has become a symbol of what love and maturity can build. As Bruce's family continues to share moments, a quiet hug, a birthday celebration, a child's graduation, they remind us of a powerful truth, that even as a man fades from public life, his spirit can live on through connection, kindness, and memory. There is no cure yet for the disease Bruce faces, but his family hopes that through sharing their story, they can raise awareness, build empathy, and help others feel less alone. In their words, if Bruce could speak today, he would want to shine a light on this illness and remind the world that no one should have to face it alone. Bruce Willis may no longer walk red carpets or speak on camera, but his voice, his real voice, lives on. In every role he played, in every daughter he raised, in every person who watched him and felt something real. So we invite you now, wherever you are, to share your memories. Tell us what Bruce Willis meant to you, what film moved you, what moment made you believe. Because while the lights may have dimmed on the stage, the story of Bruce Willis is far from over. It lives in all of us,